Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Before we get started, I just wanted to say thank you for all the support lately. I've been noticing a little uptick in subscriptions, and I really appreciate that. It really means a lot to me. If you do enjoy this video, please do consider leaving a like, subscribing, or sharing it with someone who you think may enjoy it as well. It really helps me out, and I really appreciate it. Today we're going to be playing some Battlefield 2042. Do you ever feel like a plastic bag? I had a pretty phenomenal game with the SWS-10, and it got me thinking about sniping in Battlefield. And one thing that I always see coming up is which is the best sniper. For me, I firmly believe that any gun that you're having the most fun with is the best one, and I stand by that. You know, like the DXR is great. The Gold Magnum is great. The XCE bar is great. I haven't really used the 50 cal, but you know, if that's your favorite one, then it's great. You know, the SWS is really good. Like, they're all really great rifles that have their pluses and minuses, just like any other weapon in the game. I think focusing too much on a meta build of a weapon is kind of a waste of time, because if you just get good with any of the weapons, especially any of the sniper rifles, then you're pretty much gonna be unstoppable, you know, because you really only need to learn velocity and drop, and there's really not a whole lot of drop in the game, so you're really mostly worried about velocity. And honestly, I think that the SWS suits me personally for my needs the best, because it's got 11 bullets and it just shoots very good, unless you're using the heavy rounds, and then you're kind of limited. I think it's 6 bullets in that case, but it doesn't really matter. Heavy rounds with the long barrel really works well. Even with the standard bullets, the long barrel just helps a lot get the bullet where you need it to be quicker, basically. So in my opinion, I think using it is great. I had this awesome game, and honestly, I don't even know what was different. You know, I just was able to hit a bunch of shots in the end. But anyway, I just really think that spending time learning one rifle can really be beneficial, as opposed to worrying about what's the best and what's this, or, you know, what attachment should I be using. Finding something that works for you, I think, becomes the most beneficial thing, and this goes for any game, but especially 2042, because there's a pretty big lack of weapon choice in Battlefield 2042, especially when it comes to snipers. So picking one and just sticking with it and learning it inside and out, basically, for lack of a better term, I think that you could become the best sniper with that weapon. And it really just takes practice, muscle memory, and learning the mechanics of the game itself, in my opinion. So for me, this game, it happened to be the SWS. I just was on fire with it, and it was amazing. I was feeling so great. Unfortunately, I wasn't actually recording. It was just, I just kept having to clip every kill I got, because it was like, whoa. So at around like 12 kills, I just decided to clip every kill I was getting, and I was just having a blast. I love when games kind of line up like that. You know, it really makes it fun, and, you know, kind of makes you feel good about yourself. You know, like, you can pat yourself on the back, like, wow, I did that, you know. That's how I feel about it, at least. I really enjoy the SWS, honestly. I mostly use the 6x scope on it, regular 6x scope with the extended barrel. I do swap between the heavy bullets and the standard bullets, but I don't typically change away from that. I mean, if it's close range enough, I will use the suppressor with like a 5x or a 3x on it, but for the most part, I kind of just stick to 6x extended barrel heavy rounds, and then go from there, you know. And if that doesn't work out, I'll either switch to the DXR, or maybe I'll just, you know, kind of mess around with the attachments that I'm using. Sometimes just using the standard barrel is the way to go. It really all just depends, and I think that after so many hours using the SWS, I've just become very accustomed to the way that it works, and I just, every time I play, I try to use it at least for 1 or 2 games in my session. But the DXR works really well as well, and I think the Gold Magnum is also a very solid choice. But I really just, every time I play and I use the SWS, I'm like, wow, this gun is so great. You know, especially with the standard ammunition and 11 bullet. You know, like, it's kind of like using the Enfield in Battlefield 5, or, well, even the SMLE in Battlefield 1 with 10 bullets. Like, it works really well. they did a really good job with it. And I think that they really did kind of a good job in all with sniping in Battlefield 2042. The initial launch, of course, if you've been following me for a while, know that I was very critical of it. It was not good. Everything about the game really felt bad back then, but as this is coming to a close, like, they've definitely made major improvements. I wouldn't say it's like the best Battlefield game ever by any means. It still has a lot of things that aren't great about the game, and it's very repetitive, but not in a fun way. And you know, the map selection is still very, hey, we just have these giant maps, but the actual playable area isn't that big. And you know, a lot of the complaints are still there, but the mechanics and the gunplay and the gameplay itself has improved massively. And so while some of it still stands that it's not a very great Battlefield game, it's at least become a decent game if you just don't lump it in with like a Battlefield game. You know, it's not going to be Battlefield 1, it's not going to be Battlefield 4 for some people, or Battlefield 3, but they've at least turned it around to the point that it's enjoyable for a few hours, and I like that. And I find myself having a lot of fun just sitting and sniping. Honestly, that's probably the most fun I have in the game. I do the same in Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 sometimes, but it really depends on my mood. Honestly, like, I really enjoy sniping in games, but I don't do it all the time. As you see from some of my shorts and everything, like, I kind of have a mix between stuff that I do. Some games I do pretty much only snipe though, like Delta Force, but 2042 is a fun game for me to snipe in because you just can sit there and kind of collect kills, and it's great. And you know, people bitch, of course, everybody always says snipers are a problem, yada yada yada, but I never really felt that way personally. I always felt like the balance is hard to get for a sniper rifle. Where I always felt the issue lied was with shotguns. I think they're really stupid, but you know, like, they have a place just like sniper rifles have a place. I understand that the mentality of most snipers is, you know, I'm just gonna sit here in the back line the entire time and not help cap, but I'm sorry. Yeah, if you have 30 people out of 32 people doing it, then yeah, that's a problem. But if you have 5 people and, you know, 29 people can't take the objectives, that's not a sniper issue. That's just a team issue, you know, like, because a lot of times you see it happening where people just kind of will one by one rush a point and then they die, and it's like, okay, this isn't working out. So if you send people in like a massive wave together, for sure you're gonna overtake, you know, the point, because they can't kill all of you. But you know, you send 2 people, 3 people, 4 people in at once, that's it. Like, yeah, then the people who are guarding the objective are not gonna let you take the objective, you know, like, it's just a numbers game. But having a couple snipers, even up to 8 snipers in the backline killing people on the point is not the problem, in my opinion. But I do agree that when you have a full team of snipers where no one is pushing except for like 5 people, that is an issue for sure. But in general, I think that the sniper rifles kind of get a bad rap in a lot of games, but I enjoy doing it, you know, like, I'm older at this point. I don't really care so much about the winning aspect anymore, and I don't really care so much about, like, rushing in and trying to get a million kills in one feed, you know. It's really fun when that happens. It's really cool, and I clip it, and then I upload it, you know, but it's not what I'm after, you know. I'm just after having a good time and replayability with a game. So, to me, I think it really comes down to my mentality for the game versus other people's, and their mentality is fine. But when it comes to what the best weapons to use, I know it seemed like I was just kind of talking in circles, but I was going somewhere. The best weapon to use is the weapon that you have the most fun with. That's my firm belief when it comes to any game. You can do well with any weapon. It doesn't have to be whatever people think the meta is. It can be any weapon that you love and have the most fun with. You learn it and you'll do fine. You know, I switch around weapons all the time. I don't stick to just one thing because I think that's really boring, but it's also just like, you know, if I wanted to just play with 1 or 2 weapons, I would play CS. Like, that's what I would do, you know what I mean? Like, but when you have, you know, 15 weapons to choose from, yeah, I'm gonna choose different weapons and mess around with them and learn how to use them to my advantage, you know? There were some weapons in Battlefield 3 that people used to think I was cheating with because I would just be able to get kills, but it's because I kept using them. I didn't just stick to the M16 or the AEK, you know? Or the M5K, if you guys remember that gun. That was a very broken weapon. But you know, like, you just learn how to play with the weapons, and you can have as much fun doing that as any of the other weapons that you can use in the game. So, my opinion, the meta will always be whatever you have the most fun doing. That's, I guess, my whole point. But anyway, and I've been meaning to make this video for a while. I clipped this stuff like months ago, and I honestly, I just kept putting it off. I don't really know why. I don't have any excuse for that, so I apologize. But here it is now, and so I guess it's better late than never. But anyway, I will leave you guys with the rest of the game, and I hope you enjoyed. Please do leave a comment or like or subscribe if you enjoy it again. And if you know anyone who you think might enjoy the video, please do share it. It really helps me out, and I really appreciate all of you guys. I hope you're all having a good day, and I will talk to you soon.